Hey, what's up YouTube? And this is my PSY-Frame deck profile. I'll just quickly go over the cards, and I did get heaps of recording, but you can't really put them in highlights like I do in my other videos, because PSY-Frame, majority of the time they're going to be long drawn out duels, and there's no point on putting specific highlights if you don't show the end of the outcome of the duel. And then, you know, if you're gonna showpiece like combos from the extra deck and that, you can't include them without showing the lead up to how you got to those synchro plays. So I kind of had to show some examples of just how the deck works. I think that's better, but if you decide to build a deck, you can, in theory, you can get a picture by just building the deck, reading each card effect, and you'll get a fair idea, in theory, how stuff in the extra deck works and other plays. But I'll just quickly go over the cards and then we'll get into our matches. So we run 2 Dark Holes, 3 PSY-Frame Circuit. We need this card live as much as possible to make our synchro plays during our opponent's turn. And also we can pitch PSY-Frames from our hand to boost the attack of our PSY-Frame monster we control. So, excuse me. Next we got 3 Psychic Field Zones, and we can select 1 Psychic Tuner and 1 Psychic non-tuner monster that's in the banish zone. Put them into the graveyard, and depending on the levels of the tuner and the non-tuner monster, we can make synchro plays. We can special summon a level 7 or level 8 psychic monster from an extra deck onto the field, face up in defense position. And we got 1 Psychic Path, 1 Raigeki. We want to clear the board as much as possible. Got 2 Teleconnect Power Wells, specials. Excuse me, bit crook again, like starting to get crook quite frequently now. Got 2 Teleconnect Power Wells, special summoning level 2 or lower psychic type monsters from our graveyard, and we take battle damage depending on the levels. 2 Wave Motion Cannons. We use this as a distraction. Don't rely on it, but it just adds pressure. Each standby phase, it just clocks like 1 standby phase equals 1000, 2 standby phases 2000, 3 standby phases 3000 if we choose to resolve it. That's how much damage we'll inflict. We've got 3 Drowning Mirror Force. Put our opponent 2 mines if we have Wave Motion Cannon up, PSY-Frame Circuit up, and if we already used the Drowning Mirror Force to send their opponent's monsters back into their deck, they're just always going to think twice of playing monster or going for attacks. Especially if we also have this card up, PSY-Frame Overlord. We can banish 1 PSY-Frame monster from our hand or face up, then target 1 card on the field, so we can get rid of problematic cards our opponent has. Got 1 Skill Drain, pay life points. The effects of all face up monsters on the field are negated. Good synergy in the deck because we can still activate our hand traps, which is our PSY-Frame gears, and we don't want monsters on the field. We want our monster zone free of monsters, so we can play these hand traps. So the whole point of PSY-Frame is that we want our opponent to play, and we negate our opponent's plays with our frame gears. Next we got 3 drivers. There are non-tuner psychic monster, and these cards always get special summon every time we special summon a frame gear. So every time we special summon a frame gear, we can special summon this card onto the field, whether it's in our hand, deck or graveyard. That's something to remember. Now we got 3 card Ds, and this is just to draw 2 cards. I wanted to run Pot of Duality, but with Pot of Duality you can't special summon. Same as Card of Demise. Hand Destruction, not good enough with this deck. I wanted to fit Upstart, and one day of peace, but didn't have room. So card D works, and you know, since we don't want monsters on our side of the field, we just play this card, tribute it off with its effect, and we get to draw 2 cards in our turn. And if we draw frame gears, then that's a plus for us. 1 glow up bulb for our synchro plays. Once it's summoned, we can make a synchro play with one of our synchro monsters if we made it during our opponent's turn with PSY-Frame circuit, and then when it's in the graveyard, we can activate its effect, mill the top card from our deck, special summon it to extend the synchro play. Got Curry Bandit, so level 3 and a level 2 tuner with our Delta and Gamma here. We can make a monster from our extra deck, which is a level 5 synchro monster. Also Curry Bandit, we can use its effect to excavate the top 5 cards on the top of our deck. If we desperately need a spell or trap, we'll go through, and if a spell or trap pops up that we need, we can add one of them to our hand and mill the other 4 cards to the grave. And finally, we got the most important cards in the deck, our PSY-Frame gear cards. So we got 3 alpha, 3 beta, 3 delta, and 3 gamma. Alpha, it's a searcher. Also, our searcher for our PSY-Frame cards. Also, we can activate this card from our hand if we control no monsters, if our opponent's special or normal summons, and we can special summon. We can activate it from our hand, special summon onto the field, and then as soon as this is special summon, PSY-Frame driver gets special summon onto the field, whether it's in our hand, deck, or graveyard. And if we have PSY-Frame circuit live, we can make our synchro plays. So level 6, level 1, that's a level 7 synchro monster. Next, for our beta, if our opponent declares a direct attack, we can activate beta from our hand, special summon onto the field, special summon driver from our hand, deck, or graveyard. Then we can negate the attack, destroy the attacking monster, and go into our level 7 synchro plays if we have PSY-Frame circuit live. So it's really good. This is what we do. We just sit back, relax, let our opponent play Yu-Gi-Oh, and we just negate what our opponent's plays. Next we got Delta, and Delta, control no monsters, and our opponent plays a spell card, we can activate Delta from our hand. It's a level 2 tuner, so we can special summon Delta, then special summon driver. There's 2 cards on the field, we can negate the spell and destroy it, and if we have circuit live, we can go into our level 8 synchro plays. And finally Gamma, also another level 2, and when we have no monsters on our side of the field and opponent's monster activates its effect, we can negate the activation by special summoning Gamma onto the field and driver. So there's 2 PSY-Frame monsters on the field, and we can go into our level 8 synchro play. Also Gamma negates the monster effect and destroys it. So this is the whole point of this deck, and it puts your opponent in 2 minds if you have circuit live, if you got overload live, especially if you have 2, manage to get 2 overloads live. I wish I could play 3. I might put 3, I might take this out and put 3 in, but if you have your overloads, so let's just say 2, if we have 2 live, circuit live, your opponent's going to always worry that 2 of his cards are going to get banished and he can't do nothing about it. And if you've already used the Drowning Mirror Force, any face down card, your opponent's going to be wary if it's going to be another Drowning Mirror Force. And then you got the Wave Motion Cannon live, which each turn just clocks 1, clocks 2, clocks 3, depending on the amount of standby phases that pass, and your opponent know as long as this card stays on the field, it's just going to keep racking up numbers, and the higher the number, the higher damage it's going to take when it resolves. And this is going to be a distraction because he has to worry about this, he has to worry about this card, which we can easily search for. So if he has Twin Twister MST, gets rid of these 2, we can easily get them back on the field with the other copies. And if he MST Twin Twister Overload, we got another copy, and when this card's in the graveyard, we can banish it and it becomes a searcher, so we can search back for another PSY-Frame circuit. There's just heaps of ways to get PSY-Frame circuit even with Alpha's effect. We can return our banished monsters. Whatever we banish, we can return it to the grave. We can make synchro plays from the cards that are banished. We can add PSY-Frame cards back to our hand from the graveyard. We can add them back to our deck from the graveyard. There's heaps of things, and when you have Overload, Wave Motion Cannon, you got a Dry Mirror Force set, you got Telekinetic Power Well. It's a quick play. We can special summon level 2, any number of level 2 psychic type monsters to give more targets for Overload to banish, extend synchro plays, and just in case if we don't have any protection on the field, if we don't have Overload or Dry Mirror Force, we can use this to stop OTKs. So there's heaps of things with this deck that's good. Quickly through the extra deck, we've got Ancient Fairy Dragon, and we can use this to get life points, 1000 if we destroy field spell cards. Even if we have to destroy our own, if our opponent doesn't have any, we can destroy our own and we can automatically search it. Has good defense, 3000. Black Rose Dragon, easy to make during our opponent's turn. If our opponent has a strong board and we have a level 1 beta, if we activate our alpha and beta, we can go into our level 7 Black Rose Dragon. If circuit is live, PSY-Frame circuit is live, and we can nuke the whole field. We can easily make Clear Wing also level 7, just negates level 5 or higher monster effects. Crystal Wing just negates monster effects. Chambara can attack twice and it gets 200 attack each damage step. So just straight off the bat, if you can make Chambara with Curry Bandit and a level 2 tuner, we can just straight off the bat, this card is 4400 attack basically. Quickly, we got Scarlet. We can make level 8 with a level 2 tuner and our driver, level 6. It destroys all special summon effect monsters with attack that's equal or less than this card. So it's 3000, so this card works good against like Blue Eyes, Red Eyes, Galaxy Eyes, all that stuff. And for each destroyed special summon effect monster, your opponent takes 500 damage. And the reason why we have Glow Bulb in here, because we can use Scarlet to rank up to our Abyss, Hot Red Dragon Archery Abyss. And this card, you can target one face-up card your opponent controls and negate its effect until the end of the turn, which is really good. It's got 3200 attack, and if it inflicts battle damage, you can special summon one tuner monster, which you can rank up to your level 10 Hot Red Dragon Archery Bane. You can tribute one monster, then target one red archery, so it can be your Scarlet or Abyss. So you can easily have Abyss and Bane on the field at the same time. 3200 attack, 3500 attack, and if this card inflicts battle damage, you can special summon two tuner monsters with the same level. So one in your graveyard and one from your deck. We'll obviously have Alpha and Beta, they're level 1, and then in our graveyard we've got a Glow Bulb. So that's two tuners plus Bane. We can easily rank up to Hot Red Dragon Archery King Calamity, which is a level 12. Two tuners plus one non-tuner Dark Dragon type synchro monster to make it. And once it's synchro summoned, you can activate this effect for the rest of your turn. Your opponent cannot activate cards. Also, cards your opponent controls cannot activate their effects. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to this effect's activation. If this card destroys a monster by battle, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the monster's original attack. That's Beast. And also, lastly, if this card in its owner's possession is destroyed by opponent's card by a battle or card effect, which will obviously be the next turn, you can target one level 8 or lower Dark Dragon type synchro monster in your graveyard and special summon it, which will be our Scarlet. So Scarlet comes back on the field. So really good. Next we got Hyper Psychic Blaster. Can make this with a level 8 synchro and a level 1 tuner. If this card attacks defense position monster, inflicts piercing battle damage, and if the defense position monster and if the defense position monster defense is lower than this card's attack, gain life points equal to the surplus. So you can gain life points if if their monster was 0 defense, you're gonna get 3000 life points back. You're gonna deal 3000, I guess, and then yeah, that's how it works. deal 3000 damage to them and get 3000 back. As I was saying, 2 Omegas. This is our main boss monster of the deck, and basically it's easy to make this card. Obviously, if you paying attention, easy to make, and this is the main card we want to get, and we want to make it as soon as possible if we can. Level 2 tuner and our driver, so gamma, our delta, gamma, and our driver can make Omega, and once per turn during either player's turn, or either player's main phase, as I say, you can banish this card from the field and 1 random card from your opponent's hand, and that's what we want to do. If we can, try to get 2 Omegas. So basically we have 2 Omegas on the field, and we banish both of them, and then banish 2 random cards in your opponent's hand, and it works really good if your opponent has a low hand count, because it just stops them from making plays, and then we free up our monster zone for our other PSY-Frame gears ready to be activated depending on what our opponent plays. And also has a 2 more effects. The second one, it can return any banished card, whether it's your opponent or our own. So we can that's another way of returning our own banished monsters or banished cards, put them back into the graveyard. Also, we can, if your opponent gold sack the monster, or if your opponent has a deck that banishes monsters but brings them back, Omega is a good way to stop that strategy. Put their banish monsters back into the graveyard. Really good. 2800 attack, and if you can clear your, so let's just say if you had Omega, Drowning Mirror Force set, banish their 1 random card, and if they were to load up their monster zone and attack directly, and you had a Drowning Mirror Force, send them all packing, Omega will return during your standby phase, and they got no monsters, and you can attack directly, 2800 damage. Zeta is another card if you want to make as soon as possible if you can. Decent attack, 2500. Once per turn during either player's turn, you can target 1 special summon monster your opponent controls in face-up attack position, banish both that monster and this card from the field, but return them in your next standby phase. I got a good recording showing what this card can do. It's really good. And lastly, if this card's in the graveyard, you can target 1 other PSY-Frame card in your graveyard, return this card to the extra deck, and if you do, add that target to your hand. So it's another way of bringing your PSY-Frames back to your hand from the grave. And lastly, number 38. And then number 38 needs to be a staple in any kind of deck that runs level 8s, and we can make it with our level 8 Omega and our Scarlet. If we have both of them on the field, we can XZ summon to number 38, the Hope Harbinger Dragon Titanic Galaxy. It's like a freaking long ass name, but once per turn during either player's turn, when a spell card or effect is activated on the field, negate the effect, and if you do, attach that card to this card as an XZ material. Strong. So that's the PSY-Frame. We got 2 emergency teleport in our side deck, 2 system down if we go against machine type decks, just banish if they control them and order machine monsters in their graveyard. 2 twin twisters for pendulums, or if we are playing opponent that has like run strikes, have good back row, you want to put twin twisters in for your wave motion cannon. Staple in the side deck that everyone should have, anti-spell fragrance, just slows your opponent down once you have your board set up. Both players must set spell cards before activating them, just buys you a turn. King Consonants, really good in this deck. You can, once it's set and your opponent declares a direct attack, you can activate the card, negate the attack, then you can banish 1 tuner monster and any number, but we'll just do 1 non-tuner monster from your graveyard, which will be your driver. And for this card's case, it'll have to be a level 2. So if you have a delta or gamma in your grave, you can banish Delta or Gamma and Driver here, and then the rest effect reads whose total level is equal to 8. So you'll go Scarlet or Omega. So you banish those targets from your grave, and then you can special summon Omega and Scarlet from your extra deck. Another staple in side deck that everyone should have, Master of Restrict, because this deck suffers from this deck doesn't suffer, but any deck can suffer from going against Monarchs if you don't play Master of Restrict, or if players run a Kaiju engine, or just even Kaiju itself. And we got the third copy of PSY-Frame Overlord. You can easily put that in, and you got 2 Maxi. If your opponent goes, because with this deck you want to go second, and it's good to have Maxi in. If your opponent goes crazy with special summons, just activate Maxi from your hand, and each time your opponent special summons you draw 1 card. But just saying, when you go against Kaiju, it's a bad matchup with PSY-Frame, because PSY-Frame, we need our opponent to play, so we rely on them to normal special summon monsters while we have no monsters on our side of the field, and also the effects and stuff like that, or direct attacks. But the other, with Kaijus, they need monsters for the Kaijus to actually get out onto the field. So if you can see where I'm going with this, basically if you go against a Kaiju, neither player is going to be playing Yu-Gi-Oh! It's going to be a broken, unplayable game. So yeah, this is the PSY-Frame deck. Hopefully you got a little idea how it works, and we'll just go into the matches. Hey, what's up? So we got the matches, and I apologize because I can only fit a little bit of matches in, because the video is going to be half an hour long, and I'm not sure if anyone wants to watch that long. But I had to do in-depth explanation on how the deck works just for this specific deck, because it's really confusing for a lot of players. They're not familiar with PSY-Frame. So here, my opponent's playing a archetype where you can't target the monsters, or you can't destroy them from battle, or you can't even attack them. So I was kind of stuck for a little while. I was trying to draw the right pieces, and this card, he can attack directly even if I have monsters on the field. So he just synchro summon. I activate Alpha. Now I'm gonna bring out Driver. I get a search off, and I pick Beta. So if he direct attack, I can activate Beta from my hand. And now I'm going for my Clear Wing. So his effects, basically I can't even attack him. He's got some cards set in his back row. And with this monster I know you can attack directly, so I activate Skill Drain, turns off all his effects. Now his deck is useless. I know he doesn't have Twin Twisters ready or MSTs, because he's about to give up. And I knew that before, because he didn't get rid of my back row beforehand when I was banishing his monsters and stuff. This one, this deck, I actually bricked in this game, and I just quickly killed him off using my wave motion cannon. But I was stalling him for a really long time using my drowning mirror forces and that, and he used his resources to get rid of some of the cards I had, and now I just used the wave motion cannons. And this deck, was a good duel. I was playing a Light Sworn, and this was one of the hardest duels I ever played, because he had a lot of cards that got rid of my cards, and I had a lot of cards that got rid of his cards, so we're kind of going back and forth. We both had a lot of cards that just negated each other. Here's another example. He got out his Black Rose to nuke the field. Since it's a level 5 and higher, I can negate his effect. And then he activated Break Skill, which pretty stuffed me up. So I decided to get rid of his back row. Even though I was going to get nuked, just in case there was something you could return. Yeah, the whole field gets nuked. He's got 16 cards left in his deck and I got 21. And we're just going back and forth, just negating each other's effects. And look how long this duel is. We've done 22 turns. 22 turns. And he's running Light Swan, if you didn't notice. So I banished my PSY-Frame overload to search for my PSY-Frame circuit since it got nuked. And I've got Beta, and I can't see from here. Let me get up. Yeah, I got Beta and Alpha. So he's played Charge of the Light Brigade to mill to search for Minerva. And when he plays Minerva, he can search for his Judgment Dragon, which just destroys a lot of decks. It's the boss monster of Light Swan. So when he special summons Judgment Dragon, he can pay 1000 life points to destroy every card on the field. So now he's gonna special summon Judgment Dragon, and I activate Alpha, special summon Alpha, get the driver from the grave. And since I got Circuit Live, I can I'll go search since I use Alpha, so I get Gamma. Just in case if he gets another Judgment Dragon out, uses effect, I can activate Gamma. So now I'm gonna Synchro summon into Zeta. And before Judgment Dragon can get his effect off, I can get Zeta's effect off first. So if you use Zeta's effect, banish Judgment Dragon. So now he's only got Minerva on the field. So he gets impatient because throughout the duel I was negating attacks with Drowning Mirror Forces, I was negating his attacks with other betas. I was negating a lot of stuff, and he was too, but I know he's the one that's frustrated because my deck is supposed to draw out battles. So he attacked directly, activated Beta. I get to activate Driver, and then I get to make another level 7 Synchro monster. And like I said before, Beta not only negates the direct attack but destroys the monster, the attacking monster. So now I've got 2 Zetas on the field. So now it's my turn, and Zeta will come back onto the field along with his Judgment Dragon. So we play Wave Motion Cannon to add more pressure. Activate Zeta's effect, banish Judgment Dragon again. And now his board, he's empty, direct attack, and unfortunately he had a Necro Gardener, so he banishes it and negates the attack. So now after end my turn, we'll see what he does here. He just ends his turn. Just checking my banish zone. See if it's worth to bring something back with Psychopath. But I don't. I just activate Zeta's effect, banish Judgment Dragon again. And I have to attack because I know he's got a second Necro Gardener in his grave. So he banishes it. So I look through his deck to see what he still may be able to draw. He has 2 face down cards, and I know one of them has to be a Necro Gardener from memory. So now we'll see what he does here. So he summons his zombie tuner card, then special summon, normal summons Raiden. Mills 2 cards. Now he's got 7 cards, the pressure's on. So I got 2 Zeta, he knows I'm going to banish his Judgment Dragon, and I've got the Wave Motion Cannon that's live and it's just clocking each standby phase. So I attack his Raiden. 800 damage. Now there's just one more monster on the field. I put that psychic field zone face down just to make him worry if it's another drowning mirror force or another trap. Plays upstart. Then he has Judgment Dragon. So lucky I hit the second Zeta, so I banish it. So I banished 2 of his Judgment Dragons, and now he's going for a direct attack. Doesn't care because it's 400 damage. But it's hilarious because this is just trolling the crap out of him. He really wants his Judgment Dragons, and now I just drew a beta, so now everyone should know what's going to happen now. So banish Zeta, or banish Judgment Dragon, activate the second Zeta, and banish the other Judgment Dragon. So now they go both of them go back to the banish zone. I set Psychic Path, put him in 2 mines again. Wave motions and the pressure. He's only got 4 more cards to draw. Now we're at turn 31. Activates Genus. So now he's going to Synchro Summon Tempest Magician, and I had Beta even if I didn't have Gamma, but since he activated effect I used Gamma. Activate Gamma's effect, Special Summon, activate Driver, Special Summon Driver, negate the effect, destroy it, and then we're going to go and make an Omega. So now we got Omega, bang. So now the Judgment Dragons are going to come back. Turn 4. So let's banish those Judgment Dragons one more time. So troll. Now he's wide open. I didn't have to do the extra play, I just did it just for style. Attack with Alpha, MVP of the deck. Then I resolved the wave motion cannon that clocked 4 turns, 4,000 damage. GG. This is PSY-Frames. Hope you enjoy, and I'll see you in the next video.